In 1943, during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, a young Jewish boy raised his hands as Nazi soldiers stood nearby. His frightened face became one of the most haunting images of the Holocaust, symbolizing the fear, suffering, and unimaginable loss experienced by millions of innocent people. In September 1932, high above New York City, 11 ironworkers took their lunch break on a narrow steel beam, suspended 800 feet in the air without harnesses. Captured during the depths of the Great Depression, this daring shot became an enduring symbol of American grit, fearlessness, and the workers who built the modern skyline. In 1936, during the Great Depression, Florence Thompson sat with her children in a pea pickers camp in California. The worry on her face became a symbol of strength and resilience, showing the hardship millions of Americans faced while struggling to survive during one of the nation's hardest times. In 1965, the boxing world was stunned as Muhammad Ali stood over Sonny Liston, seconds after knocking him down with the infamous Phantom Punch. This image froze Ali's fierce confidence, the raw energy of the moment, and the lasting controversy over one of the most debated knockouts in sports history. In 1963, Buddhist monk Thich Quang Duc set himself on fire in Saigon to protest the persecution of Buddhists by the South Vietnamese government. He sat perfectly still as flames surrounded him, creating one of the most powerful and shocking photographs of the 20th century. In 1969, on the moon's surface, Buzz Aldrin's gold visor mirrored Neil Armstrong, the lunar module, and the stark lunar landscape in perfect clarity. This photograph doesn't just record the first moon landing, it reflects humanity looking back at itself from another world, a silent reminder of our greatest journey. In 1945, during fierce fighting on Iwo Jima, U.S. Marines raised the American flag on Mount Suribachi. The moment brought unity and hope in the chaos of war. Captured by Joe Rosenthal, the image became a lasting symbol of sacrifice, strength, and the determination that marked the final days of World War II. In 1945, when World War II ended, Times Square in New York City filled with joy and celebration. In one famous moment, a sailor kissed a woman in a white dress he had never met. The photo captured the pure happiness and relief of a world finally at peace after years of war. In 1945, as Nazi Germany collapsed, Soviet soldiers raised their flag over the Reichstag in Berlin. The moment showed victory over Hitler's regime and the end of the war in Europe. It also marked the start of a new world order, divided between two powers, the United States and the Soviet Union. In 1945, a massive mushroom cloud rose over the Japanese city of Nagasaki after the second atomic bomb was dropped. The blast killed tens of thousands instantly and helped bring World War II to an end. But it also marked the beginning of the nuclear age and a new era of global fear. In 1968, as Apollo 8 orbited the moon, astronaut Bill Anders photographed Earth rising above the lunar horizon. It was the first time humans saw our planet from space, a fragile blue sphere floating in the blackness, reminding us of both our beauty and how small we truly are. In 1937, after a 3-day flight from Frankfurt, Germany, the Hindenburg airship approached its docking mast in Lakehurst, New Jersey. Moments before landing, it burst into flames, killing 36 people. The tragedy ended the era of passenger airships and produced one of the most famous disaster images in history. In 1937, after Japanese bombs struck Shanghai's South Station, a lone baby sat crying among the rubble. The heartbreaking image shocked the world, revealing the human cost of war and the suffering endured by innocent civilians caught in the violence. On a warm August day in 1963, over 250,000 people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. From its steps, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech, calling for equality and justice. His words became a defining moment in the civil rights movement. In February 1956, at a police station in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was fingerprinted after refusing to give up her bus seat to a white passenger. Her quiet act of defiance had sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, helping ignite the civil rights movement across America. On a cold December morning in 1903, strong winds swept across the dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Orville Wright climbed into the Wright Flyer while his brother Wilbur steadied the wing. The brief 12-second flight covered just 120 feet, but it marked the moment humanity first took to the skies. In February 1945, as the war in Europe neared its end, Churchill, Roosevelt, and Stalin met in Yalta on the Black Sea. Surrounded by their top military commanders, they planned the division of Germany and the shape of post-war Europe. Their agreements would help end World War II and set the stage for the Cold War. On a sunny September morning in 1972, during the Munich Olympics, a masked Palestinian militant appeared on a balcony, having taken Israeli athletes hostage. The tense standoff was broadcast worldwide and lasted for hours before ending in tragedy with the deaths of all 11 hostages, shocking the international community. On his 72nd birthday in 1951, Albert Einstein was leaving a celebration when a photographer asked him to smile. Instead, the world's most famous physicist playfully stuck out his tongue. The lighthearted moment was captured in a single shot that became one of the most reproduced and recognized images in history. In 1941, during World War II, Winston Churchill sat for a portrait with photographer Yusuf Karsh. Moments before taking the picture, Karsh removed Churchill's cigar, provoking a fierce glare. The resulting image, nicknamed the Roaring Lion, became the defining portrait of Britain's wartime leader. In July 1966, Mao Zedong swam across the Yangtze River in Wuhan, China, surrounded by supporters. The event was carefully staged to show the Chinese leader's strength and vitality at the start of the Cultural Revolution, reinforcing his image as a powerful and energetic figure. On June 6, 1944, Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy, France, under heavy enemy fire. Known as D-Day, the invasion was the largest amphibious assault in history. Photographs from that day captured the chaos, bravery, and sacrifice that turned the tide of World War II in Europe. In 1942, photographer Gordon Parks reimagined American Gothic with Ella Watson, a government cleaning woman in Washington, D.C. Standing before an American flag with a broom and mop, Watson's portrait became a powerful statement on race, class, and inequality in the United States. In December 1970, the King of Rock and Roll met the President of the United States in the Oval Office. Elvis Presley, dressed in a dark cape and gold belt, shook hands with Richard Nixon. The unlikely meeting produced the most requested photograph in the U.S. National Archives.